Okay, we are live. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of This is Tech Talks, and we are here today with Ekekenta and my co-host Deep. So, hey Deep, how are you?
Yeah, hi, how I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Just excited to learn Strapi from Ekekenta.
Yeah,
So let's hear it from him. So Ekekenta, thanks a
yeah.
lot again for accepting the invitation and joining us. So, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself first, and what you have been doing so far?
Okay, thank you, Santosh, for this opportunity. I'm Ekekenta Clinton. I'm a software engineer, technical writer, and I'm also an open source contributor. So currently, I've been doing a lot of technical writing and content creation, and I've also been offering free mentorship for junior developers and those who have interest in going into tech. So I also have a YouTube channel where I share knowledge on web development. So yeah, that's what I currently do for now.
Hmm. That's great. So, we'll talk about, of course, your YouTube channel and other stuff. I mean, I was not aware that you have been doing YouTube. So, uh, but let's get started with Strapi. So, would you like to tell us what is Strapi first, and then we will talk about your more use cases.
Okay, Strapi is an open source headlet content management system, which is purely 100% JavaScript that
Mm-hmm.
allows developers to build web applications so easily and fast. So Strapi also allows you to customize your website just the way you want it to look like. So you don't just depend on what the developers have already created. You can also make things look the way you want it to be. And also, Strapi has content feature called Content Manager that
Mm-hmm.
allows you to create collections, and also the Content Manager has also a collection type and a single type, which allows you to add entries and also create details that you want to show to users, also you want to store in your applications. And it comes with database management systems, like it has features for that for you to use a database management system of your choice, like MongoDB, SQLite, MySQL, or Postgres. So I think when you create the application, if you don't have any of these database management systems set up, it uses SQLite by default. So
Okay.
to also, yeah. And also Strapi has a community version that allows developers to try it out and then see how it works. And then also they have um, the paid version, so which also is used for some advanced use cases.
Cool. So, this free version, right? So you said there is free version and then there is a paid version. So the free version is like I have to go ahead and host myself, or how is it? Like there is a self-hosted version, or there is a community. I mean, there is some version which we can like take the image and install it on our own machine. How does that work? Or just can I go to some website where I can just use it as a SaaS product?
Okay, the free version, like you can host it yourself also, and you can also
Okay.
test it out locally on your computer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And for paid version, they have their own like SaaS
Yeah,
product where they can.
yeah. So
Okay.
they have also they have other features also which are not available on the free
Mhm.
version, which those who paid for can enjoy. So
Mhm.
that's the difference.
Okay,
So,
cool.
so they have their own cloud for Strapi to self-host.
Sorry.
So they're providing the cloud service to self-hosted Strapi servers.
Okay, that depends on what you want. So you can choose to host on your own cloud platforms.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's nice. And then you can configure with whatever database you need.
Yeah.
So, as it is headless, you need to build everything, or it's like there are some APIs which is already available and you can consume those APIs.
Okay, Strapi is built to make things easier for developers. So that's even touching or writing any code. You can have a whole of application created for you. So just like Strapi is built with the experience of filling an online form. So you're just building your
Hmm.
application just as if you're filling an online form. So, but you
Oh,
can also decide to use the command line tool provided by Strapi to also customize and create your applications.
Oh, cool. So, if I'm not wrong, you're going to show us how to do that, right?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Cool. So, before we move ahead, I mean, why to use Strapi? Why you will suggest developers to go ahead and or enterprises to go ahead and use Strapi?
Okay, basically for me, I started using Strapi while I was researching on open source content management systems to use for a project I had for a client. So when I came across Strapi, I tried it out, and then it was easier for me to get the project done. And I also coupled with the fact that Strapi is open source, is free, so I didn't have to
Mhm.
pay to use it to get the projects developed. So I would advise developers to use Strapi because it's easier for them, especially those who are using JavaScript. So it's 100% JavaScript, and also it's open source. And there are a lot of communities out there in case you're having issues. So for you to get solutions to the issues you're facing while building your applications.
Nice. Great. So, would you like to show us how to get started with Strapi? Would you like to share a screen?
Okay, sure. Let me do that. Okay, basically, so like I mentioned before, you can either decide to use the Strapi CLI to, or maybe use the admin UI provided by Strapi.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so let me share my screen. Can you see my
Yeah.
screen?
It's shared. Yeah. So, can you just zoom in? Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit more. I think. Yeah. This is. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
this one,
once you
right?
open the code properly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so basically, I'm going to head over to the Strapi documentation right here. And so, first of all, for you to get started with Strapi, you need to have Node.js version 14 and 16. These are the versions of Node.js that Strapi supports. So once you have those requirements met, then you head over to install the Strapi CLI to install and
Mm-hmm.
paste the command. So, and what this command also does at the same time, it creates a Strapi project for you by default.
Okay.
So this will install and then also create necessary folder structures and all the configuration that is needed for your application. So you don't need to bother yourself setting up the server, configuring your database, and doing all the necessary stuff that are required for your application. So I think I've said to
Can you zoom in a little bit because it's almost not visible? The command prompt.
okay, okay.
Mm, a
Yeah, I
little
think I
bit more.
have okay. So I'm having an error because I have a project already created with this same folder name. So let me just change this folder name. Let's call this demo. So hope my terminal is visible enough.
And you have to just zoom in a little bit more because it's. I'm not sure why, but probably you have very low resolution actually.
Okay.
So yeah, one more. I'll tell you. I mean when to zoom in, zoom in. Yeah, one more. I think yeah, one more. This is visible. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So now Stapi offers developers two type of installations. So we have the quick start, which is actually recommended. Quick start has everything set up, both the database, but the custom type, you have to choose database management system you want to use. So when you see the quick start, Stapi is going to use SQLite as the default database
Uh,
management system. Yeah, so I think let's go with the quick start.
mhm.
So it's going to create a project, create all the files and folder structures for this application. So this will take a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm. It is recommended that you upgrade. Okay. So what is the latest version of Strapi which is available?
Okay, yeah, version 4.
Version 4. Okay. And it supports Node, the
Yeah,
latest version, Node 16.
yeah, it does. Yes, Node
Yeah.
14
So
and
meanwhile, it
16
is getting
actually.
okay. Okay. So meanwhile, it is getting installed. Just want to confirm. I mean, does it support TypeScript as well?
Yeah, it
I
does
mean,
also.
okay.
Okay, I think for TypeScript you need to do some configurations to have that. I don't, but by default it doesn't by default.
Okay. Cool.
So I've not actually
Because I
used,
know.
yeah, I've not actually used it, but yeah.
Mhm. So one of my friend was actually trying to implement the TypeScript. I mean, he added some support. There was a PR. I'm not sure what happened to that, but it's been more than a year. So.
So I don't think they have provided that. But I think if, with some configurations you can actually do that.
Mhm. Cool. Hey, thanks for joining. So someone is in chat.
So
Strapi generators. Okay. Mm, okay, there is self-hosted and there's a cloud version. Community is free. So Strapi also provides you authentication and everything. I mean, can I plug in my any authentication system as well? Let's say if I want to
yeah, Strapi
bring.
does that. Basically, Strapi
Okay.
has a lot of plugins actually, both for GraphQL. So all you need to do
Mm-hmm.
just to install the plugin and then yeah, set it up. So right here we
Mm-hmm.
can see the project has been created, and also
Mm-hmm.
Strapi is like I said, is developer friendly. So it has all the commands that you need to run to build or start the application. So right here too, we can see the time that this project was created, and also have other informations like the versions and the editions we're using. So currently we're using the community edition, like I mentioned.
Okay.
So and also this is the admin URL.
Mm-hmm.
So about this, once Trapi loads up the admin URL, it opens it up right on your browser. So, but you need to sign up to log into the admin UI for the application. So I'm gonna just do that.
This is your local, right?
Yeah, local. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so
So
is this the super admin or just normal user?
it's normal user, normal user. So as far as you're signed in, but no, as far as you're signed in, any
Uh-huh.
user that is not registered cannot use this application.
Okay.
So the person has to be signed in by the super user. Like this is the super user actually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you zoom in a little bit? So your browser.
Okay.
I think more.
Okay.
One, one more. One more. One more. I think. Uh, one. Yeah.
This works, right?
It's still not visible much. So can you zoom in once?
Okay.
This okay. Yeah,
So
that's cool.
I'm gonna enter my email
Mm-hmm.
address. So you also need a secure password for this. Okay.
Oops. You just shared your password. Just make sure you change it.
Yeah. This is just the test. Yeah, for testing it.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So they're going to also ask for information about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, yeah, the backend developer and finish. So you can see the admin UI here.
Oh.
So this is the content manager. So where we can manage content. So we have the collection types and the single types. So the collection type is where we create the collections for database models. So you can
Mm-hmm.
see here by default, Strapi creates the user collection, and then also if we go over to the content builder where we can manage our content and also see the records. So here we can actually create a new collection type or also a single type or a component.
Okay.
So like I mentioned, if I go ahead and create a collection type here, Strapi will create an API and all the routes, the controllers, and the services required to run this API. So basically, let's just try it out. Let's create a blog API, a blog collection, sorry. So have a display name. So what we do is to hit the continue button. I can see here we have fields for
Okay.
this collection. So we can select the
Mm-hmm.
fields that we want for this collection. So this is a blog model. So we need the blog title, which is a test field. So and then we can also select either a short text or a long text, depending on the type of content you want to store in this particular field. So for the title, we should go for the short text.
Mm-hmm.
So can also click the add another field button to add other fields, or maybe finish button to maybe if you're done adding all the fields that are required for the collection. So I will need other fields. We
Mm-hmm.
need the main content of the blog. So also going to add like sorry, I did mention I selected the rich text. So this also allows you to add markdown formattings to the content of the blog. So that's the main aim of this rich text field. So we
Okay.
need one
So
more. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, just to ask, I mean, so Reach Text supports Markdown and HTML both, or just Markdown?
Yeah.
It does supports both.
So the next field we'll be creating is we need the cover image for the blog. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll use the media field. So
Okay.
for this cover, and then also it has a feature for you to upload multiple media or a single media. So let's go for single because each blog has a single cover.
Mm-hmm.
And so okay, let's add on that field, the dates field. So can call this date created.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so let's use date time,
Oh,
and then
that's
so
really
hit
good.
the finish button.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No, so date, it supports date format as well. That's nice.
Yeah, yeah. So now once you're done selecting your fields, you can go ahead and hit the
Mm-hmm.
save button. So once I hit the save button, Strapi will reload the server and then create an API folder for this
Mm.
collection. So let's go back to the code. Okay. Uh, so right here, I'll have to quit the server.
Mm-hmm.
So open this up on VS Code.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry, I need to change directory into the project folder first of all. So yeah. So I can then open this up on VS Code. So can you see my VS Code?
Yeah, can
Hello.
you zoom in again? Yeah, zoom in.
Okay.
It's not. Yeah, zoom. One more, one more, one more. I think yeah, it should be. Yeah, it's visible now.
Okay. So we can see. Strapi has all the folder structure for this application. So we have the
Mm-hmm.
config folder. Where we have all the API configurations. So the
Mm-hmm.
configuration for the admin UI. So we have configuration for the API, the database. So like I mentioned, you can see here, um, by default, it uses as
SQLite.
SQLite database. Yeah. So we also have the middleware's configurations. Then I also have the server. So I can see the ports, which the father is listening to, port 1337. Then we also have the database migrations here, right here. So all migrations made on database will be stored, record will be stored here. We have the public directory, where all the files that are available to the public will be stored. Like since we have a cover image for each blogs, whenever we do that, user uploads a cover image for any blog posted on this application. The file will be stored here in the uploads folder. Then we
Cool.
have the SRC folder. So this is the admin UI for the code that powers admin UI for this application. Then so here we have the API, which is the configuration for the API. So here you can see Sabi has created a new folder, the blog folder,
Mm.
which is our collection that we just created, collection tab that we just created on our admin UI. So if I open up this blog, I can see here other subfolders like the content types. So I have the schema.json file, which is the schema for the collection type that we just created. So you can see here we have the collection name, the singular name, plural name, display name,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see the attribute, those attributes that we added to the
The
collection. So
properties.
you can see the title, yeah, the title properties. So you can see the title and the type,
Mm.
contents, the cover, and yeah. All of that. So here to Strapi has allowed types for the media field. So, but basically, you can also choose to remove this other five formats since we are
Oh,
only
okay.
uploading images here. So you can also choose to remove that, and so the users are only allowed to upload images as a cover. So right here we can also see the controllers. So Strapi version 4 has okay, let's go over, let's start from the service basically. So Strapi version 4 has a core service function, so
Mm-hmm.
that allows you to create a service for your Strapi applications. So all the codes already has been created by Strapi. Basically, here is referencing the block collection that we created.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the code here does. API, the name of the collection, and the collection name. So also here in our controllers, the same thing is happening here. Similar things happening here. We also have the create core controller that also allows you to create the controllers for the methods that are available on the services.
Mm-hmm.
So last, we also have the routes. The same also applies to the routes. So as you can see how easy Strapi is for you to build your web applications. So without having to write any code, this block application has already been created. So now let's head over to the terminal
So I have one question.
and
So you have
okay,
mentioned that in a public folder we have upload folder, right? So
yeah,
any file which we upload, it will be here, right?
yes,
So
yeah.
is there any external? I mean, we can integrate any external storage like S3.
Okay, for now, I've not tried that out. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, yeah, I've been using the default upload folder for the applications I've been working on. So yeah.
Okay.
So basically, I think the
Yeah,
implementation, yeah, I
Mhm.
think that should, if there's a feature for that, I think it should also be
Mhm.
included in the documentation.
Yeah.
yeah. Probably they might have some plugins. I think it's a plugin based thing, right?
Yes. Exactly.
So
Yeah, so I think there should be a plugin for that also.
cool.
So let's go over and run the server again. So using the Beyond Develop. So basically, when you're working when still working on the project, you use the yon develop command so that any
Mhm.
changes you make on the application will reflect immediately, like you are actually enabling the hot reload feature. So, let's go over here and to the content manager. So we can see the blood collection types. So we can go ahead and create new entries for this blog. So let's say this is first. So like I mentioned here in the content, we can also add uh,
Mhm. Markdown.
so you can add Magda. You can later format this to both. So you can also maybe add a header. So you can add the header to this. So and you can also preview and see what this looks like. So then we'll have the cover. So Strapi has a plugin also to allow you to upload assets to your admin dashboards. So you can use them frequently whenever you want to upload files.
Mm.
So here we have to select from the computer, or maybe you can also use a URL. Maybe if
Mm.
you have a
Okay.
URL for the image here,
Yeah.
so can
That's
browse.
nice.
I think I have some images here. Okay, let's go with this. So as you can see here, and then you
Mhm.
can now upload the assets. Then click on the finish button. So you can also select the dates.
Mhm.
Yeah. Uh, and also you can
Seven.
select the time. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So once you're done with the entries, you click the save button to save the entry.
Mhm.
So now there's another feature in Strapi. So when you create an entry, you need to publish it to it saves as a draft by default, so you need to publish it to
Okay.
have access. Yeah, yeah, for it to just to have access to it. So I have to click the publish button. Then another thing also to make this collection available on your code for you to use it on your code. So you also have to go to the settings page on users and permission plugin. So you click on rows, then on the public, then on permissions, on the permissions tab, you see the collection type, and then also you
Oh,
see all the methods
okay.
here. So the methods to create. So for me to be able to create a blog, I have to give a public access to this action. So to do that, I have to select all to give access to all the actions too. So then click on the save. So once that is done, I can then um, use an maybe API testing to
Mhm.
test out the application. So this is localhost.
Can you zoom in as well? This
Okay.
Postman
Okay.
a little bit more. I think it's yeah. This is okay.
All right. So okay, 1337
Okay.
slash. So go to API.
Mm-hmm.
So slash the name of the API is blog.
Okay.
So then we can see we have the action for get, post,
Mm.
updates, and delete. So
Okay.
yeah, so let's go ahead and send the delete requests. Uh, okay, let me expand this a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. This is good.
Okay,
It should be. It says 404.
yeah, this is for
Start public should be blogs, if I'm not wrong.
okay, yeah, I think yeah, it blocks. Yeah, sorry, blocks. So we can see the block that we just created. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
So you can also send a post request to create a new block from here. So could send a raw JSON. So, but I think the issue we have creating this from this postman. Okay, let's use the form data. Yeah, let's use the form data so we can be able to upload an image.
Hmm.
So yeah, so uh, we'll have the contents.
Hmm.
So okay, this should be date created, but I misspelled it to data created.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
So let's just get this, so we don't have issues with the formatting. Yeah, okay. So have the cover. Uh, so it should be a file. Let's go ahead and select a file. Okay. All right. So let's see if this works. Okay, we're
And
having
So
a
it's
server
blog
error.
or
mm,
Okay, let's check the terminal and know what the issue is. Cannot structure data of passport is undefined.
passport is
I think we're missing one field. Something. Oh, oh, okay. I think we have all the fields here.
like does they provide any documentation URL to list out all the API endpoints so we can have an idea?
Sorry.
Like, do they provide documentation for the API that we have created? Like, we have
like
used,
Swagger.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
like
Okay, yeah,
Swagger, right?
yeah.
yeah. You can see all the. You can see them here too. Uh,
So,
so like if you click on this, you see the URL here.
uh,
Okay, you can see the yeah. So
Ah,
okay,
okay.
yes,
And but they don't list the properties,
yeah.
right? How the request structure should be, how the response structure would be. So they don't provide that, right?
yeah, they didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
since you're creating the
mm,
collections yourself, you should know the fields. Uh,
Ah, okay. Hmm.
okay, let's try sending this as a JSON. Let's see maybe if that's the
Hmm.
issue.
Probably.
So let's see.
Raw and JSON. You have to change the type. Mm.
So let's try this out.
I think as we have media type, probably, yeah, as we have cover as media type, probably we have to actually use form data,
Okay.
because form
Yeah,
data
yeah,
allows
yeah.
you to upload forms. I mean, images, but that's fine. That's fine. It's okay. You
Yeah.
don't have to worry about it. But we got the idea that okay, we can actually go ahead and call the APIs, but it depends upon the. So, is there any way to validate? For example, let's say I want to expose these APIs, but only for authorized user. So let's say we are few developers, and developers will just authenticate themselves by using some token and something, and then call the APIs, because of course exposing APIs in public will be difficult, right? I mean, it may create issue.
So yeah, this is you can do that here.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, so you can do that.
Uh,
Yeah, there's provision
so
for
for
that also.
authenticate, okay. So for
Yeah, for
authenticated
TKUs
user,
also.
we can say they can create, they can delete, but
It's
and they
they
can
can
update.
they cannot.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So and normal users will be able to, let's say, just one only find the data or find one, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. That's nice.
So
And where do
apart
we?
from okay,
Mhm. Yeah, I
so
mean,
apart
just
from
wanted to
doing
understand.
this, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Go.
So apart
Sorry.
from
Sorry.
all right.
Mm.
So apart from doing this using the dashboard, you can also use the command line to create an API. So
Ah,
and
okay.
then customize things yourself. So to do that, have to click the server and then use this Strapi generate command. So here you can see, yeah, you can either generate an API,
Oh.
a controller, a content type plugin, a policy, middleware, or service. So like we did in the blog API, so we can also create another API here by hitting the
Mm-hmm.
enter key. So I'll enter, let's say you're creating for, let's say to do's. So now it's asks us if this API is a plugin. So we can either choose if we are creating it for a plugin, you can use Y, capital Y to denote EX, Y small n to denote no. So this is not a plugin. So you can see here, Strapi has already created all the folder structures for that. So if we head over to the VS Code, you should see another folder in the API directory.
Mm.
So here you can see the controllers, the routes, and services. So you can
Mm.
also create a content type too for this API using the command line.
That's nice.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we are, as we are like already off the time.
Okay.
I'll just I mean, are there any resources which you will suggest to learn Strapi more in more detail? So.
Okay. So Strapi has a documentation,
Mm-hmm.
so you can learn a lot from there.
Okay.
So this is yeah. So just strapi.io.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Any other resources? For example,
Then you go to
any
the
YouTube channel
docs,
producer?
developer docs.
Okay.
Um, I think Strapi has a YouTube channel also. But I've not basically I've been using the docs a lot. I've been using
Mm-hmm.
the docs a lot. I've not been using their YouTube channel.
Okay. So another question is related to, of course, getting help, because of course,
So I
once
think
you
I can
start
see here
using it, you
to
will.
have video library. I think okay. So to get help, Strapi has a Discord. I have a Discord channel where you can
Okay.
ask question. So you can also join that from the
Mm-hmm.
Strapi official website. So you can see here Discord.
Oh,
Also, you can also join the community forum. Then ask questions to get solutions to the
mhm.
issues you're facing.
Oh, nice. I'll just post this link. So, thanks a lot, Ekekenta, for joining us, and this was really this was really useful. I mean, this will help anyone to get started with the Strapi, and Anything you want to promote on the channel? I mean, apart from Strapi, of course. I mean, you have already promoted Strapi. So,
Okay, so I also want to promote my YouTube channel. Basically, I
uh-huh.
every Fridays I drop videos on web developments. So I
Okay.
was about to drop my YouTube channel. So yeah,
Cool. Do you have the link? Can you share it in private chat? I can post it right
yeah,
now,
yeah.
and we can add it later
Yes,
in the description video.
sure. I'm doing that. Okay, so I have the link
Yes.
here.
Okay. Cool. Link. So thanks a lot, Aginta, for joining us. And Deep, if you have anything to ask,
Mm, I mean,
uh,
this is really cool framework to build CMS,
huh?
especially for the newcomers who are starting their journey in the Node.js. So
No. So you have used it in past, Deep?
uh, I have used not used it, but I have get demo in back in 2018, and
Oh,
yesterday I was creating one demo for me. So
okay.
this is really cool to start with.
Yeah.
If you want to your CMS with basic features,
Mm-hmm.
uh, like
Yeah.
not with logic but some simple CMS.
Okay.
So this is really cool.
Just to ask, I mean, last question. So where do you deploy this?
Uh, we can deploy on I mean EC2. They are providing a digital also an option.
Okay.
They are providing Docker images, uh,
Okay.
s- and we have our own code, so we can just run it as a Node.js server, and
Oh,
we can run.
nice. Okay. Yes. But they have documentation around that as well, right?
Yes. They have detailed documentations there, and very neat and clean.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So, yeah, thanks again for joining both of you, and hope you have a great weekend. And we probably we can actually have another session in future where we can actually explore more on Strapi, probably plugin system, because I that is something which I'm finding really interesting, that you can build your
Yeah.
plugin and then use it. And we can probably do it next month or whenever you are available next. And thanks again for joining us, and thanks everyone for listening. And just drop a message to Ekenta in case you need any help related to Strapi. I think they'll be the best person to help you. And yep, that's it for the day. And we will meet again next week. We will be discussing about Dart. So, in case you're interested in learning Dart, we'll be joined by Mangeeta, who is one of the Google developer expert for Flutter and Dart, and we will see how we can get started with Dart. So that's it for the day, and see you next week. Thank you, everyone. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
See you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.